particularly on this day, so that we can discuss any challenges you may be encountering, but also to provide you with information about the new direction that the fight must adopt. It is also highly advisable to seek advice, to learn more valuable lessons, and to draw meaningful insights from everything you have experienced all this time in order to enhance your knowledge and make informed decisions. I have always stated that when you are on a motorcycle or in a vehicle, it is easy to forget and simply continue driving. And while we drive, we are always in a state of being constantly ambushed. Frequently, individuals must walk because the adversary themselves seldom arrive on a motorcycle. Either he pushes it or he leaves it somewhere and walks. We should have the ability to do the same thing in a similar manner. Arrange strategically within your multiple bases to ensure you are never caught off guard and always prepared for any situation. Due to the presence of an unanswered question, namely the mechanism by which we are caught off guard, there is still a lack of understanding. At that location, we need to exert efforts. I do not agree with the idea of being caught off guard unexpectedly and unprepared. Do you agree with me? Why do we get caught off guard? It's because we let our guard down. Because we think that, well, we've worked here, it's going more or less fine, we're not focused anymore. But I urge you to never lose your focus and always stay attentive. When there is an attack somewhere and individuals are surprised, we know. Because when individuals are surprised, they call to say, we are under fire. That is what they call air support, to articulate this thing. However, we enjoy hearing. We perceive them coming. When you are not caught off guard and you have the time to let us know that we see them, it provides you with the opportunity to make preparations to combat and also for the drones to have the ability to act. I can provide you with assurance that as of today, our inventory consists of over 20 combat drones in Burkina Faso. So there is no reason for you to be surprised. And when we talk about combat drones, they are there in order to provide support and assistance. In general, they usually wait for a signal to indicate that we see the enemy approaching, and that's when they take action. However, in most cases, they are summoned to report the position that is under fire and being targeted by the enemy. And finally, it's when an enemy retaliates that they take care of them to try to strike. No. So you promise me here and now that you will never let yourself be surprised again. We did not pay for combat drones to remain idle. We paid for them so that you can maintain surveillance and inform us if you observe them. They are approaching. If we were to begin utilizing solely observation drones, which are more cost-effective, we desire to visually perceive them and eradicate them. Therefore, refrain from sleeping. In any weather condition, be it rain or shine, they do not sleep. In the rain, one does not sleep. That's why I wanted us to meet today, because the rain has started. The nature is turning green. The foliage has grown significantly, and the climatic conditions, it is not a suitable time for vulnerability. You must remain alert in the precipitation. For a while now, we have desired individuals to be able to organize themselves, go out and clear the areas surrounding the roads, because the trend of directed mines was becoming too much. But if we clear a lot and the path is open for 100 meters on each side, it allows us to carry out other actions. Everywhere, you need to organize the populations to go out, clear the roads. You need to clear so that these directional improvised explosive devices cannot be placed against you or the population. However, it is crucial for everyone to be able to reach their workplaces and carry out their duties. You must have the capability to excavate trenches in the vicinity of your municipalities or villages. Certainly, it is said that machines have arrived, but I immediately told you, it cannot be deployed all over Burkina at once. We don't have 1 million machines, but everyone needs to start at home. Each and every day, there are drones that are constantly stationed at specific positions without any interruption or deviation. They are simply waiting to be informed that they are observed upon arrival. However, individuals rarely succeed in managing to do so. On every occasion, we are subjected to fire. We are unable to be subjected to fire. We need to observe it approaching. You gave me your word that you will not say we are under attack anymore, right from the start. You're going to say now we see them approaching, because I am in continuous contact with the drone pilots at all times. You wonder how I handle. 80% of my time is dedicated to war. However, that does not impede me from vigilantly monitoring the economic landscape as well. It is a promise that you made to me, and I want you to keep your promise. I do not want to hear that we are under attack any longer. We can see them coming towards us. Are we in agreement? You will mobilize your populations to dig trenches and protect yourselves until the machines arrive to deepen the trenches and fortify them. It is you who defend the municipalities, the villages. If you arrive, you tell them to get out, we're digging here. The enemy must not drive, pass through there. We delve deep, we seal up, and we establish ourselves in that place. Your own posts and writings can be found there. At one point, I had something developed and instructed to send it to you. Everyone has talked to you about it, the ministers, the BVDP, so that people can build, for instance, combat posts. Where the rain has not yet started properly, make the bricks well, build the posts. I have requested images of the various posts in some villages, and I notice some have also achieved it lazily. You can't have a position, even with all that you've built. And there, your head is exposed. How do you fight? While the image we sent, there are loopholes. These are the holes through which you have to fight. And when we say to build posts, we don't mean to build one or two. They need to be built all around the village. Because combat is not just about one position. Others construct 3-4 posts. It's beneficial for the village. No. Evacuate the villagers. Instruct them to build. Models have already been provided. However, please inform me and lead me astray by providing inaccurate guidance. You are aware that there are numerous tasks that have not been completed. Are you aware of that, correct? What actions should I take? Do I need to personally come and handle it in your absence? But if I tell you this thing was conceived in my office, I caught a young officer who made the 3D model. We shared it, and I informed the chiefs to ensure its completion. The reason is that even at every single moment, we are constantly thinking of you in our minds. We're considering you. I stated there's no incident, VDP post-attack or anything that I'm unaware of. There are none. Unfortunately, in some areas, people have refused to give in themselves. It's incomprehensible for our own lives. Who should pay you? Afterward, we continue to insist that there are specific fundamental tasks that we should have the capability to perform on our own. I told you that most of us, like me, were born into a system that is attentive, where much is expected from others. But what are we doing ourselves for our country? That's it, that's the question we need to ask ourselves now. When I heard about this, I was a bit disappointed. He says that in order to protect yourself, you have to ask for payment. There will be money to pay you. Go out and dig. There are certain municipalities that I have monitored where I had said to go out and dig. They didn't want to, but they stayed. Some went out under manipulation. He said, okay, you're going to dig. A week later, they dug. Today, these municipalities are more or less at peace. In any case, if the enemy comes, they will encounter the obstacle you have created, giving you time to fight them there. If they come to close, you must be there. Digging doesn't require sleep. It's about hindering movement and preventing reaching desired destination by immobilizing. And wherever he must pass, you must always be present. If he comes to use force to redo your work, you must shoot them down. But once you are taken by surprise, you are no longer considered a man, and your ability to fulfill your duty is compromised. In order to make a comeback, it is hard. And when you witness things like that, it causes a lot of pain. Even if you have a collective weapon and your defense is not strong, the enemy can roll up to your position, which is not good. Even if you have built what you are told to build there, 100 meters ahead there, you need to dig trenches. If he wants to drive through as a fighter, he must fall into them. Or he stops over there, he gets off to try to cross, and you have time to adjust your shots. Is this complicated? So there is work to be done. We must not be lazy. It is necessary to mobilize the population. It's not about you and your work. It's important that all your people understand that you are choosing to sacrifice yourself for them. So, when you tell them to go out to work, they must go out. The other day there was an attack. I followed all the instructions and attempted to investigate the situation. Individuals were taken aback. Negative. When you have a collective weapon, the first thing is, you should not be surprised. You must see the enemy and prepare to face it. Each time, it was attacked repeatedly. I instructed the pilots to film and show me. Did they construct the posts? Did they dig? The answer is no. There was not a lot. There was nothing. Therefore, they will compel you, and you will compel them. From this point on, that is the way it is. In the overall framework of our process, we have expressed our strong desire for Burkina Faso to be able to overcome this challenging situation of underdevelopment and to reach a level of development and prosperity that we have always dreamed of for this country in order to improve the lives of its people. In order to achieve this, we have undertaken multiple initiatives in agriculture, industry, agri-food and energy, which present significant challenges for us. These initiatives are currently being addressed in various sectors of activity, including infrastructure, as well as the aspect of food distribution systems, FDS. Our efforts in these areas are aimed at ensuring progress and development in our society. During the initial phase, in terms of your perspective, it was necessary to reflect on the issue of logistics, armament, vehicles, and all other factors that come into play in the subsequent stages of the process. What is presently improving gradually, and we will persist in this direction to empower you to carry on the noble fight for this homeland and make steady progress towards achieving our goals. But in addition to all this, we have realized one thing. For the nation to exist, endure, and develop, you all need to be strong. And being strong is not just about the logistical plan, but also the psychological plan. There is this family stability that every fighter needs when they are on the battlefield. We have all been in the field. We have encountered various situations where frequently, when you are in the field, your mind is often back at home. Because you are unable to solve a number of problems, perhaps of a financial nature. Generally, that's what it boils down to, and it disturbs the combatant. At this moment, we have a large number of individuals who are wounded. We also came to the realization that this problem has not been dealt with in the manner that it should have been. The proof of this is that up to the moment I am speaking to you, we have not been able to list all those who have been injured since the beginning of this conflict. As a result, we have decided to launch a platform so that people who have been injured, who have not had a circumstantial report, or who have not been reported, can register themselves on this list. And I believe that a couple of weeks ago, we held a conference in this very room to initiate this process, as an agency was established solely to cater to the needs of those injured in war. Similarly, we have also considered the orphans who will be included in every level of the organized transport system of the FDS, in order to provide them with the necessary support and assistance. And schools for the wards of the nation will be established. In our education policy aiming to implement within a certain time frame to make education free in Burkina, we want this free education to start with these schools for the wards of the nation, including orphans of our fallen heroes. Additionally, for the first time, an agency was established to provide assistance for the injured, infants, and orphaned individuals. Presently, we are entering a new stage in tackling the financial component, which holds great importance for the military. Earlier today, we had the intention of introducing this cooperative to you. Could you please explain how it will operate and function? What are the objectives of this cooperative? What are our goals and aspirations in working together through the cooperative? And gradually, in all the garrisons, missions will need to go to further explain the rationale behind this cooperative and to explain to people what they can anticipate from this cooperative. And in return, the question you asked here this morning, in the garrisons, you'll have to ask many questions, and I believe a general assembly is also planned in the cooperative's organizational chart so that the inputs, the contributions for improvement can come from you. We desire for you to have the capability to save at a significantly higher rate and possess rather specific savings, each in accordance with their individual preferences and the products that will be provided. When the military personnel encounters issues or difficulties after their initial loans, it becomes a long-term problem because the pay is not sufficient to adequately address and resolve these challenges. It is not possible for it to be proportional to the expenses, and I believe that the elders have thought about it very well by introducing I think it has been since the 1980s, the fact that the FDS is able to engage in areas such as agriculture and livestock. So, how do we go about undertaking? That's the second equation. Here too, the cooperative must be able to respond, to enable you to invest in this field, because it is not prohibited. Today, we have launched the in-person initiative for food self-sufficiency. We have started the agricultural offensive, and in this initiative, the military are involved, and I believe that many of you have seen fields developing in their barracks, in their garrison this season. I think that in Ouagadougou, here in Dédougou, Kayat and Kodu all over, large boreholes have been drilled, and the military will be trained in agriculture, livestock farming, in quite specific areas. And I think that here in Ouagadougou there is a pineapple field that is developing. We need to be able to produce to help our people as well. It's around here, but many want to invest. How to do it? That will also be taken into account so that we can help you invest in this area, because agriculture feeds the entire population. That's why it was authorized for the uniformed carriers. Elevat, it feeds the people. There you go. It's the other businesses that are not allowed. Even among officers, the salary is not enough. It's not possible. But if you manage to undertake something that contributes to something else, to improve your living conditions, to participate in the life of the nation, I think it's not bad. That does not prevent you from fighting at all, because you are creating other jobs, you are on the ground. When there are issues behind, they get resolved. Burkina Faso imports a lot in this regard. You know that we import a large number of products from farms just for those mining structures. It is not sufficient. But the army must participate. That's why in the initiative we have decided to train the military personnel who are currently active and those who will retire for their reforms. To invest, you will need money, an investment at a fairly flexible rate, without too much hassle, and I believe the cooperative is there to solve this issue as well. I have stated and I reiterate, no country can make progress without a robust defense and security system in place. It is not possible. Examine closely. Since the 1990s, it fits well. The elders are present. What was the military's equipment like during the revolution? You can go through the camps and observe the carcasses of armored vehicles and other items that were present. How is it possible that they managed to dismantle all of that, leaving us vulnerable? And now they are using terrorism to seize our lands. Comprehend this. To evolve, you require a robust army. You require a robust security system. And in order to possess this system, it is not solely about logistics. We require to be mentally stable. And to be stable in the head, it is necessary to review the living conditions of the brave fighters that you are. So we are dedicated to this process in order to enhance the living conditions of the FDS. In any case, we will be proud to have the opportunity to enhance the living and working conditions of yourself and your families. That's why this cooperative was once again thought out, reflected upon. In addition to the cooperative, there will be another phase related to the economy of the armed forces. Because civilians also support this, they want to see you in good condition, they want to see you mentally liberated so that you can defend them. Otherwise, they would not contribute so that we can provide you with the necessary equipment. We want everyone to comprehend the extent of the cooperative, join, have the ability to explain it to their fellow members, and rapidly develop it so that we can make significant changes in a brief time frame. The factory we recently established in Bobo is in alignment with the same line of thinking. When we observe FDS walking around in faded uniforms, it is painful. And we have evaluated the amount of money we spend annually. Police, national or municipal police force, GSP, gendarmerie, customs, army personnel, law enforcement. The expenditure we allocate for the procurement of uniforms is of an immense magnitude that cannot be overstated. It's billions and jobs that we give outside. So we decided to put the factory on site to produce for everything that is held, to be able to dress well. So Comepex is just the first step, and there will be other steps that will follow gradually over time, building upon the progress made. Everyone is involved, with the Minister of Finance at the forefront, so that we can create something, a powerful tool that we will have a close look at. which should enable our various defense and security forces to live with dignity and to fight for the freedom of our homeland. This is the very essence of the creation of this group.
Welcome to Noble Black News, where empowerment meets truth. Our mission is to uplift and empower the Black community. We stand for truth, integrity, and representation. Our stories are your stories, told with pride and passion. Join us as we celebrate our heritage and our future. Together, we are stronger, louder, and more united. Noble Black News is your voice, your platform, your news. We bring you the stories that matter, with integrity and heart. Our commitment is to the truth, no matter the cost. We highlight the achievements and struggles of our community. Every story we tell is a step towards empowerment. We are more than news. We are a movement. Join us in making a difference, one story at a time. Together, we can change the narrative. Noble Black News, empowering our community, one story at a time.